Hello there, Charlie here. Wondering how your English pronunciation is going these days? Because if you want to speak more clearly and confidently to reduce those awkward moments where people respond with a, sorry, what was that? Pardon? Or, can you repeat that, please? Then I've got just the thing. I've put together some phonetic pangrams that will help you master all the sounds of British English, and they're completely free. Click the link in the show notes that says Improve My Pronunciation, or head to thebritishenglishpodcast.com/improve my pronunciation. Here's to a clearer, more confident you.
Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
Hello and welcome to the British English Podcast, the show that brings you culture-led conversations to deepen your understanding of British culture while exposing you to British English. In today's episode, we're joined by an English teacher named Lorena Parker, who runs a fantastic Instagram account worth checking out. She focuses on teaching the real vocabulary that British English speakers use in their day-to-day lives, and that is English with Parker on Instagram. For this episode, I decided to keep the conversation fairly open. I initially set out to interview Lorena about her life generally and compare it to what she considers a typical British life, like talking about her childhood and what school was like, whether that was typical or not, and comparing those kind of things. However, I ended up enjoying the flow of the discussion so much that it took on a life of its own. So what you're about to hear may lack a rigid structure, but I believe its authenticity more than makes up for it. So without further ado, let's say hello to Lorena from English with Parker and get stuck into this authentic conversation. Enjoy. Hello, Lorena. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Thank you very much for joining me today. Do you go by Parker or Lorena more?
Well, usually by Lorena.
Lorena,
However,
sorry, I've got your pronunciation wrong.
It's
Goodness
okay.
me.
In England, people call me Lorena, Lorena. My name's actually pronounced Lorena.
Lorena, because I was actually thinking when I was like, I don't think I've got any friends called Lorena. Yeah, I think you're the first person that I've met who's British, probably.
Yes.
Yeah. So have you met any?
I have an auntie Lorena.
Ah, is that where it comes from?
Yes.
Right.
My mum named me after my auntie. My mum's actually Chilean.
Oh, wow. Ah.
Yeah, my dad's British.
Your mum's Chilean. Okay. Do you say Chilean? Chilean? Chilean. Okay. So I started teaching in Chile, actually. I moved to Santiago and stayed there for 9 months. That was my first teaching job.
Wow.
Where was your mother from?
Santiago.
Oh, right.
I actually just came back from Santiago last week.
No way.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. Was that your first trip? Surely not.
No. I'm 36 now, and I've been going, when I was younger, I went almost every year, until I was about 18 when I had to start paying for myself. And then I went less often.
Free holiday. Well, it's not free. I'll see you next year.
It was actually 12 years since I last went.
Big. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back to you growing up. And I want to try and understand a bit more about your family, because I want to sort of get a picture of your family and then see what you think is typical of a British family in what you remember of yours when you were growing up. So can you remember one of your earliest memories, perhaps?
Ooh, one of my earliest memories. It would probably be at school.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really want to know this one?
Hang on,
It's
school. This is quite late.
primary school or reception.
Reception.
Maybe.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Reception. Me pretending to be asleep. So I didn't, on a beanbag. So I didn't have to do an activity that we were doing. And the teacher was like, Lorena, get up. Absolutely didn't believe me.
And
I think that's probably my earliest memory. That's
good.
crazy.
I like that. Did you stick to your guns? Did you stay asleep?
No, I was just like, I've been found out. Let's just carry on.
Oh, that's very cute though. Yeah, reception. Yeah, that's probably when I can recall memories. Did you have many friends that you can remember from reception?
Yeah, I can remember many of my primary school friends because in my school, a lot of the students went from primary to maybe 2 different high schools. So most of us went together to our high school. So yeah, I remember quite a lot of my primary school friends and I still have them on Facebook. And even though we don't speak,
Yeah.
we still kind of follow each other's lives.
Okay. Have you ever had a reunion?
Let me take a quick break from this episode to ask you if you want to speak more clearly in English, because I've got a free resource just for you. I've created a bunch of phonetic pangrams to help you practice all 44 sounds of British English in one go. So if you want to make sure people understand you the first time around instead of having that terribly uncomfortable, sorry, pardon, what was that? Then click the link in the show notes that says improve my pronunciation, or head to thebritishenglishpodcast.com/improve my pronunciation and grab these free exercises right now.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
No, but I would love to have a reunion. Like if the school officially said, this is a reunion for this class, I think I would book the flights and I would go, definitely.
Why do you love the idea of a reunion so much?
Because I want to hear the gossip. I want to see what everybody's life has turned into because I remember, I have a picture of them, of how they were as a child.
Yeah.
And it would be really interesting to be like, oh, now you're this person, or now you do this, or this person has 10 children, or I don't know, something. I think it would be really interesting, definitely.
Yeah, okay. So we don't really focus on the reunions as much as Americans do in what I understand of how often they do reunions. Would you hazard a guess at why we don't?
Oof. I don't know. I guess maybe Americans kind of like to show off what they've become, maybe.
Yeah, because that's kind of what a reunion is, isn't it? It's like, look at how well I've done since this point.
Exactly. And I think if we're being realistic, probably most people have achieved a lot of things. It's quite difficult to go through your life and not achieved anything. It doesn't matter how big or small it is.
Yeah. I haven't done anything since graduation.
Yeah.
But even nothing, that would be meditating for 15 years, which is probably
a big achievement.
Yeah. You could be the Dalai Lama at that rate. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So you'd like to go and get the gossip. Can you describe some of your closer friends, what they were like as people back then?
Yeah, so I could say my best two friends from high school were twins,
Right.
Kim and Lisa.
Uh-huh.
My group, we were all kind of, we weren't the popular group that were doing a makeup and a hair and all that kind of stuff. And we weren't the geeky group. We were kind of like the sporty, in the middle, friends with everybody
Uh-huh.
kind of group. So we were friends with a bit more geeky people and a bit more popular people.
Yeah.
And I was really lucky to have those friends, to be honest. I think thanks to those friends, I kind of turned out the way that I turned out because I was lucky not to have any bullying. I was lucky to have friends whose families were interested in their children's education and not strict, but they really cared about the children. So I grew up for many years in those types of environments.
Right.
So
Yeah. So the sporty group, yes, that's quite a good happy medium to be able to socialize with different niches within the playground or cliques. What kind of sports would you say allows you to be the sporting group from what you remember as the playground rules in England or in Crewe?
we played a lot of rounders. Do you know what rounders is?
Oh, yeah. I loved rounders.
Yeah. I used to be the backstop. I absolutely loved it. Like trying to dive and catch the ball and
Yeah, I loved that position.
Yeah.
I played wicket keeper in cricket. So whenever we played rounders, and it was typically the girls that got to play rounders, the boys not so much.
Yeah, it was kind of like a girl's version of baseball kind of thing.
Yes. But our school didn't really do baseball either. I mean, baseball's very American, isn't it?
Yeah.
We got cricket as the summer one, football, rugby, and cricket, and hockey. I think those were the main
we did
ones.
hockey. We did hockey. We did tennis. We did rounders, basketball. Well, we did netball actually.
Yeah.
The girls did netball.
Yeah, the girls did netball, the boys did basketball. We all did tennis. I think that was a mixed sport. Do you say co-ed? Do you use this word, co-ed?
Co-ed?
As
No.
in two genders, but both genders doing the same sport? No?
No.
Yeah. I think it was the first time I heard it when I went to Ohio and I did mixed I did a football five-a-side and it was girls and boys and they said, "Oh, it's co-ed." I was like, "Don't know what you mean, but cool."
But okay.
Yeah. And then a girl was tackling me. I was like, "Oh, is this what co-ed means?" Yeah. So typically, would you say that we don't mix with the sports with girls and boys at school?
When I was younger, they were more separated. I don't know how it is now. I suppose they're more joined together.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know.
Like football and things like that. I used to absolutely love football. I was the only girl to play on a boys' football team. I was the only one who was allowed to play on the boys' football team.
And back then, that's a lot of respect. I mean,
Yes.
that's good. Although I will say, I'm going to be rude. My wife, Stacey, she was very proud of being a regional cricket player.
Wow.
And I said that's because you were the only girl that could even bowl because no one really bothered. Like most girls didn't really care about cricket at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
did you?
I think me in my school, there was maybe 2 or 3 girls that really wanted to play football.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them weren't that interested.
So you only had 2 or 3 girls to compete against?
Yes, I suppose. Yeah.
I'm sorry to highlight that fact. But
Thanks. Ruining my dreams.
yeah,
now.
I know. But yeah, it was quite separated. I'd like to think that it's more inclusive of both genders now.
I still don't think girls and boys football teams should be mixed.
Okay.
I don't think they should.
Yeah.
I think they should absolutely have a boys team and a women's team.
Yeah.
I do think that.
Okay. Do you think it would be good to have a boys' team, a girls' team, and maybe a mixed team as well, or not? You don't like the idea of this?
No, I know
No?
they do that in like paddle and tennis. They have mixed.
Right.
I think maybe a mixed football team. No, I think it's difficult enough already to get the women's football to be seen.
Uh-huh.
So then to have like an extra category would just feel like too much.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Rounders made you a sporting person and allowed you to socialize with different social groups.
Yeah.
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 It got you the street cred that you deserved to be a sportsman or a sporting athlete, kind of.
Yeah, I guess so. Along with football, because I used to train as well with football. I used to skateboard.
See, I think those two have more street cred.
Yeah, skateboarding.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, I suppose.
Especially back then. What was that?
Yeah.
Like 95? 96?
I was born in 88, so maybe 10, 11, when I'm about 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe 99.
99. Yeah.
99, 2000.
Yeah. Good
Used to do
decade.
BMXing.
Oh, wow.
BMX track with my cousin. We used to ride down, and then like we had like a BMX track and we could go round and practice.
Right.
I had a really good childhood. I had a very happy childhood.
Yeah. Sounds like you were adventurous, risk seeking.
Yes.
Yeah. Did your parents worry about this?
No, because I think they know really inside I'm a scaredy cat. I wouldn't do anything too dangerous. I'd go around the BMX track slowly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Round slowly. But I'm still doing BMX. I'm still on a BMX. Yeah. And what about your parents being two nationalities under one household? Did that have an influence on you, would you say?
100%. Yes. I think the ideas and the culture of my mom and the ideas and the culture of my dad were quite different. My mom was always very worried about safety and going out. I kind of think she took the worry of Santiago, the city, with her to Crewe. So that she was quite strict with that. And then, like, I had to be at home when it was dark. And, you know, in England, it goes
early.
dark about 4:30. 4 o'clock. I'm like, guys, I got to go now. It's getting dark. And all my friends would be out. And my dad was also very strict anyway with many things.
Right.
So, like, a combination of the two
Yeah.
definitely influenced me.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'd like to know how your parents met.
Well, my mom was on a university trip to Miami, in America,
Cool.
USA.
Yeah.
And my dad was on a lads trip to Miami with his mates. And they met on the last night. And they had one day, one night together. Then they both went back. My dad went back to Crewe and my mum went back to Santiago. And they started writing.
Oh.
And in those days, to make a phone call, it would be really expensive and you'd have to go to a special place. And so my dad used to save up money and call her. And then he went to visit her 3 times for a month each. And then they got married on the third time
Goodness me.
in Chile.
It's so easy to have nostalgia about the past, isn't it? Because it sounds so much more romantic. I mean, that is romantic, that story. But to then compare that to an instant sort of dating app kind of experience, it's hard to, create the romance in the same way.
They are divorced now.
Oh.
So it didn't work out that well. They were together for a long, long time.
Happily together for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I think more than 20 years.
There we go.
And then they both met their partners that they have now
Right.
on a dating app.
On dating apps. There we go.
Yeah.
There. Modern family. So let's see. So school, you liked BMXing, you liked being on your skateboard. Are you still good at skateboarding?
No, no, definitely not. And I don't think I would try. I used to be quite good. I used to be able to do kick flips and, go on the bars, grind on the bars. And
Yeah.
now I would probably fall off if I tried to stand on one.
Did you have your own wax?
Yeah. I did. I used to wax the pole, wax the curb
Goodness me.
with my cousin.
You were a real troublemaker, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say that compares to the typical British? Well, I don't want to say lifestyle because, is it a lifestyle being a skater? You tell me.
Is it a lifestyle? I mean, if you continue doing it into adulthood, I suppose the culture of skateboarding could turn into a lifestyle, at kind of like skater persona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go to a youth club?
No, I didn't go to a youth club.
No?
Did you go to a youth club?
Well, they were like the discos on a Friday night.
Oh, yes. When I was really young, so maybe like 11, 12, no, maybe 11 or 12.
Yeah.
We used to go to the youth club on a Friday night, but it was skating night. But rollerblading.
Oh.
Roller skating. Well, I was on rollerblades, but you could get roller skates as well.
You were too cool for the roller skates, weren't you?
So it was like music and roller skating, rollerblading, yeah.
That's fun. We didn't have that. Oh, actually, we had. We went to the ice rink.
You had an ice rink?
Yeah.
In London?
In Surrey, in Guildford. It's actually quite well known for it. A lot of people comment if they're like from around South England. They'll be like, "Oh, you went to the Spectrum," and that was like the ice rink that everyone would go to for a Friday night disco.
See, that sounds so much cooler than my roller skating in a hall.
Maybe, but it was actually quite daunting for people who couldn't skate. And then most of you would just be huddling in the middle trying to socialize, but you're on skates, so it was a bit risky.
Yeah, kind of the same thing.
Oh,
People
really?
who went on the roller skates and they couldn't. They were quite scared or just standing at the side or traumatizing.
Holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I bought ice hockey skates to try and be cool, just like you with your roller blades.
Yeah.
And I went on a Sunday every now and again to try and get good. And then as soon as I bought those ice hockey skates, no one went to the disco ever again.
Oh.
None of my friends went. So
Did you keep going?
It was a wasted effort. No, I didn't go to the discos. I didn't dare without my friends. No way. No way. Okay, so let's move on. Teenage years. So hang on, you said you would go to the park after school and then you'd have to leave before it got dark. This was a normal thing that most of the kids did after school. They would go to the park.
On my street, yes, we'd have like a field and we'd all go onto the field and just either talk with our friends or play football. Most of the boys were playing football. Or play Pogs. Remember Pogs?
Yes, I do.
Loved Pogs.
Goodness me, that is a throwback.
We'd like collect Pogs. I had a Pog making machine. I used to make them.
So did I.
Did you?
Can
I
you?
used to make the worst Pogs ever.
Can you?
And then try and change them for better ones. Yeah.
Can you describe to the listeners what Pogs are?
So Pogs are like round, circular pieces of card, but they were like hard card. And then you would have something called a slammer. And a slammer was like a metal or a plastic circle, like a disc. And you would have to throw the harder one onto the softer ones to try and flip them over.
Very good.
And if you managed to flip the Pog over, you could keep it.
Yeah.
So you used to play against somebody else.
So you would put your Pogs in, or just one?
So you'd
Can't
make
remember.
a pile, you'd say like 3 Pogs. And so you'd put 3 in and the other person would put 3 in into a pile.
Yeah.
And then you'd slam them to see if they'd flip over.
Yeah. I don't remember playing the game as much, but I definitely had that box. I've just Googled it and I remember that milk cap maker
Yes.
box.
Do you know what I used to do?
Go
I
on.
used to get the Argos magazine and cut pictures out of the Argos magazine and make them into pogs and then like try and swap them for like original pogs with other people. So it'd be like an iron or like a, I don't know, action man or a Barbie, and I'd try and swap them.
Did you ever tell anyone?
No, they could see that what they were, I suppose, but
That's good. It's kind of
it was fun.
yeah. I've just been watching a limited series on Netflix called Ripley. Don't know if you
No, I've not seen that.
It's a bit like Catch Me If You Can.
All right,
Do you
okay.
remember that film?
Leonardo DiCaprio, yeah, love that.
Yeah, love that film.
Me too.
One of my favorites. So it's a con artist kind of film, and you're reminding me of a con artist right now.
Yeah, I used to
cutting
sell
them.
things as well at school.
Tell us more. We will be leaving the free version of this episode here for today. But if you did want to continue listening to this conversation, then head over to the BritishEnglishPodcast.com, where you can sign up to the Premium Podcast or the Academy. The Premium Podcast gives you the ad-free version with transcripts, a full glossary and flashcards, whereas the Academy gives you all of that plus a whole lot more, including vocab video lessons, writing assignments, weekly Zoom classes, and you can also get paired with a new speaking partner of a similar level to yours each month to really get your speaking practice in. But if you were just here for the free version of this episode, then I thank you very much. Congratulations for getting to the end of this part, and I hope to see you back here next week for another episode. I've been your host, Charlie, on the British English Podcast. Before you go, a quick reminder, if you want to improve your English pronunciation, check out the free phonetic pangrams I've put together for you. It's a great way to practice all the sounds of British English and be understood the first time, every time. Just click the link in the show notes that says Improve My Pronunciation, or head to thebritishenglishpodcast.com/improve my pronunciation and start working on it today. Here's to putting an end to the great, pardon, epidemic.